what
Let me ask you the question first.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. All right. What's up? Oh man,
We're back.
We're back. It's true. All right, so I got some new questions for you, and one of the things we were just talking about is singers and how some people have a whole lot of natural talent, and how some people may have that talent, but they don't have the theoretical knowledge or the skill base, right? Because there's a difference between talent, with something that God just gave you, and skill, which is how you've cultivated that God-given ability. So if you're a singer, of any age, maybe not necessarily college age, because, your ability doesn't necessarily just go away, and and you decide that, what, I want to start some kind of music career. Mm-hmm. What advice would you have for somebody who's looking to go down that route? Would you suggest college? Would you suggest lessons? Mm. There's a lot of different ways to go about it, but what are your thoughts on it?
Right. So, I mean, as somewhat I can only speak on my experience. I was, shout out to mom and dad earlier, had the privilege of having private vocal lessons for a long time. So when it came to deciding what I wanted to do for college, all I really knew was the arts. Mm. So I was like, guess I'm going to go into that.
Right.
I'm already on the professional route. I've got all this under my belt. This just makes the most sense to me. However, after going through that process, also backtrack, I think you asked the question, like, singers. One of the questions that stood out to me with one of my first lessons here at college was, do you want to be a singer or do you want to be a vocalist? Mm. And that really resonated with me, like with what you said, like natural talent and like book talent.
Right.
Because anybody can be a singer. You can be, you can do the wedding band thing. You can do whatever, or you can be. Or do you want to be a vocalist who can read the sheet music, who can walk into a rehearsal on point and have all your things memorized, know all the phrasing, know all the parts on the music, are able to cue your musicians behind you, can set up your own rehearsals, can you create your own tech writer, do you do your own warm-ups, do you know your music theory? Like that's kind of like how I started viewing things, was like, do I want to be a singer or do I want to be a vocalist? Do I want to be a singer or do I want to be a vocalist? And I think singer a lot of times is a really bad rep in music because the singer is usually just singing. Mm-hmm. They're singing the melody or whatever. They're getting all the attention because you're the front man. Right. And they're not really having to do much but come in and sing a melody or sing a song. So I just never wanted to be put in that. I wanted to make sure that I had the chops to be respected as more than just a singer. Like, oh, she knows her shit. She's coming in here prepared, and she knows how to prepare herself. Right. So I think when coming to the question of what do you want, like whether or not to go to college, is decide, like, do you feel like you already have those tools? And if you do you want to make that a full-time thing outside of what you're already doing? Because, yeah, there was times where I was like, maybe I should have gone into psychology and kept music as my side hustle. I think about that every day. If I had known, I might have done that. No, I might have not, actually I can say that for a fact. I wouldn't have gone to school solely for music. I probably would have flipped it, took a different major, made music the minor. Right. Just because I didn't realize that you don't, I mean, that kind of goes for anything now these days. You don't need a degree to define who you are, to define success or failure or a career. There's people out here who have never gone to school and they're top Billboard 100 right now. Right. That's so when you look at that, you kind of have to, I feel like maybe ask yourself the question of what do you want to do in music? Do you want to be a composer? Do you want to be a singer-songwriter? Do you want to be a backup singer? Do you want to learn, like, studio stuff? Do you want to be an ensemble singer? Like, there's so many different questions to ask yourself, I think, first before you decide what lane I want to go to career-wise with school. I think in today's climate, whatever you go to college for, you better as hell be passionate about it because you're going to spend an arm and a leg and you're going to have debt for the rest of your life unless you got full ride or somebody's paying for you. But shout out to you if you have that. But there are some questions I wish I would have asked myself sooner. I think I was just so eager to try something new, to come to the big city. Right. I'm a singer, this is what I know, so I'm good at. But then, like, you get there and you're like, oh my gosh, there's so much saturation.
Right.
How am I going to stand out? So yeah, it's intimidating, but ask yourself those questions. Where do you see yourself? Where do you want to see yourself? No, I don't think college is a requirement to find success in music.
That's real. You know, one of the things I'm learning,
that's just the truth.
And it's just,
it's what do you want for yourself?
Yeah.
If you want to challenge yourself, absolutely go to music school. If you want to cry blood, sweat, and tears over some music theory, go to school and you will learn it and you will love it and you'll embrace it and you'll feel like a badass afterwards. But if you don't feel like you need that to validate whatever you're doing for your music, if you're already getting views on your Instagram videos and you're already getting followers on your Spotify, like, you don't need a degree to show someone that you're a serious artist.
Right.
You know?
For sure. You know, I just want to throw in two things.
Everybody's path is different.
It's super important to figure out, like, how to build your own lane. You know what I mean? And maybe you can, like, travel the path that somebody else traveled, but this kind of goes back to what you were saying as far as, like, limiting yourself to a genre. Don't limit yourself to, like, how you gain exposure. You know what I'm saying? Or figure out what it is, like, whatever niche you're in as far as, like, getting out there. You know, because, man, like, it's one thing to have all the ability in the world and all the technical facility. Like, so let's say you got the education and you got the skill set behind you, right? But, man, we both know people who have a lot of that, but they're working 2 other side jobs, which is a total respectable thing. Right? A lot of us are out here doing that, but same. But, you know, how do I create the lane for my artwork to be displayed? And that's something that we have to think about. And a lot of times in music school, unless you go the music business route, we don't really learn that because we're learning how to do and not how to go get money, which is maybe more important than being good in the studio.
How to fill out a work for hire. How do you do that?
Man, like, you know, how do I promote myself? You know, like, how do I learn to collaborate? How do I publish my own music?
Ask for help?
Yeah, no, seriously. How do I be a good hang? You know what I'm saying? Which is real. The second thing I want to say is, as far as the singer and vocalist thing, and they're both very valid paths, right? Like, they can both get you paid.
Right. Exactly.
I definitely say, like, if you're a singer and you have all the ability in the world, you'll always be limited by what someone kind of serves you, right? So if you run into a really great producer, exactly. If you meet a great producer and a great engineer and a great songwriter, that's great for you because these things are surrounding you. But unless you get brought those things or you luck into those things, you'll never be able to create that for yourself. So you'll always be limited by the amount of things that you can produce. You know what I'm saying? And
you just might find it harder,
Yeah, it may take you a lot longer. You know what I'm saying? Because eventually you're going to run into that, like, wall of either creativity or finance. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, I don't have a songwriter. I could write some stuff, but, you know, like, you know how to do that. It's like, oh, man, I got that in the bag. You know what I'm saying? But if you can only sing, you're going to be limited by, like I said, by the amount of things that
are available to you.
Exactly. So
That's
it's just something to think about, all you
about.
singers out there.